Roll for intelligence. We have genuine comedy adventuring from genuine Canberra celebrities, and there's no one to tell us otherwise. I am Ewan. I will be your master of dungeons for this evening. I will guide the players through their adventure. A completely improvised adventure. The players genuinely don't know what I have in store for them, in which case it's pretty much like genuine real role-playing, but only sort of. Okay, here we go. Did you come here expecting a rules discussion? Did you expect to snigger up your sleeve at people who don't understand the mechanics of 5th edition as well as you? Well, that's a bit mean, and also we're not going to scratch that itch tonight because we have very, very simple mechanics here to work with. First of all, you can see the balloons in front of me. These balloons represent the lives of the players. If something bad happens, I will pop one of the balloons. If I have a desire to pop a balloon and that player has no balloons left, that player is dead. We haven't killed a player yet. Are we going to do it tonight? Let's find out. We have lots of d20s to roll. They're always going to roll the d20. Generally speaking, high is good, low is bad, and for those people not familiar with the mechanics, 1 is always very, very, very terrible, and 20 is always super awesome. We also, because we use the word improvise in the introduction, are by federal law mandated to take audience offers. Therefore, from time to time, we are going to ask you for offers. If you have an offer that we use, Leon will come around with a little sack of dice and you may select one of them. Give it up for Leon! You may select one of them. And let us practice offering right now. What is an exotic pizza topping?
Porcupine.
Pineapple? Porcupine? A porcupine would be relatively exotic on a pizza. Mango. That's pretty exotic and tasty, I imagine. Sorry?
Sorry, I just said gross.
Oh, gross. Pineapple got through, but mango is gross. That's good to know.
Pineapple chutney is amazing.
Okay. I think we're going to go with the porcupine. Porcupine wins. Put your hand up. Huzzah! And now, the final mechanic that we have to remember is that I am the ultimate arbiter. What I say goes. I know that yes and is the spirit of improv, but sometimes I'm going to have to say no but. It also means that if somebody rolls low, and I think it would be funnier or better for the story for them to have rolled high, it's magically a better roll. If somebody is super successful and that will kill 25 minutes of our content, I'm gonna say they failed, because that's how I roll. Or they roll or didn't roll, as the case may be. And the most important thing for this evening, and I want you to all to realize this and to remember it, we are all here to have fun! And now I suppose I should introduce you to your players for this evening. So please, playing human fighter Richard the Mighty, welcome to the stage, Canberra celebrity student, Bela! Playing Protector Asimar Cleric, Ren Lightningfall, Canberra celebrity magic girl, Helen! Playing human social justice monk, Ravia Zud, we have Canberra celebrity influencer, Sharona! Playing human goth warlock, Gabriel Felsol, audience favourite, Canberra celebrity MC, Joel! And making the noise for us tonight, our silent bard. He has returned to us from the wilds of Japan. Canberra celebrity musician, it's not funny but it's true, Jack! And I, again, am Ewan. I've tried not being and it didn't stick. So, for those people who don't know, our adventurers are franchisees for Adventurers First, the multi-dimensional adventuring consultancy. And there's always one barbarian who doesn't wipe down the orcs after he's finished wrestling him. Richard the Mighty is new to the party, as some of you might have noticed. Now, Adventurers First have a relatively unique thing that they do, and the reason why they do it is so that it's much easier for us when we need guests, which is they simply swap out characters, they replace people. So 1 minute we had the Burger, the Rogue, and the next we had Richard the Mighty. Would you please describe yourself for the podcast audience, because the physical audience can see you here?
Good question. I am the mightiest of my village. I have taken down many animals in my time. Yes. So many stories to tell.
Dangerous animals?
Oh, very dangerous. I have taken down all this. It was a dark night. The wild llama was eating the grass. Be careful, wild llama isn't to be dealt with. I stuck around, and as I got close to the llama, Axe-Face did his business.
So your axe has a name?
Yes,
And
this is
possibly a
Axe-Face.
loose head, so maybe don't fling it too heavily. You don't want to...
But the llama, well, let me tell you, I fed the villagers for at least 2 days.
And so is that how you got your nickname, by destroying the evil llama?
That is how it began, yes.
Okay, and now, is this your first party? Clearly you're a member of Adventurers First. Have you adventured before, or is this your first time?
No, this is the first time I have left my village. They said, Richard the Mighty, you are too mighty to be here. You need to share yourself with the world.
So your
Yes.
village asked you to leave to share yourself with the world?
Yes.
Yes, good to know. I'm glad we heard that. Now, Richard is clearly very, very tough, as we can all see, but there is one thing which displays Richard's softer side. What might that be? You don't get to say they get to say. It says offer here in big letters. You don't get to say that.
Sponges.
Sponges! Are we talking the cleaning apparatus or the creature from the sea, or por qué no los dos?
The cleaning up.
Cleaning sponges.
Makeup.
A makeup sponge, specific. He likes to pick flowers. Well, that's a lovely thing that can distract him at any opportune moment. I'm going to take that. You may have a day, and Leon gets to run around the room. I'm sure he didn't think that through when he volunteered. And so, I turn to Ren. Oh, it even says applause in big letters. That's Richard the Mighty! And now we have Ren, our protector Asimar cleric.
Hello.
How you doing, Ren?
Hi, I'm good.
So you missed the last session, Ren. Where were you?
I had to get more coffee beans.
Okay. And it's hard to get coffee beans where you are at the moment?
Yeah.
Okay,
I
so
don't think you understand the quantity of coffee beans that I needed.
so Ren's preferred drink, we established it before, is a double venti caramel almond milk latte, I believe. Is that what you have?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Just so long as there's caffeine in it, you're
Yeah.
good? You're
Yeah.
good?
Yeah.
And is there
Yeah.
any particular blend that you go for?
Strongest.
Strongest
Strongest
blend?
one.
Now have you
There's one that I found called the Death Blend. Normal people, when they drink it, they die.
But you're okay?
I have to have 2 shots of it at least.
That's good. Have you tried tea at all? Or maybe
No.
switching to decaf?
No.
And why the obsession with caffeine?
Can't sleep. Can't sleep.
Why
Can't sleep.
why can't you sleep?
If I sleep, then the angel talks to me, and it's really annoying, and it talks so much, and I just don't want to talk to me at all because they're like, oh, you should do this thing. I'm like, no, don't talk to me. Don't talk to me. So if I don't sleep, they don't talk to me, and it's all good. It's great.
Good to know.
It's great.
So, the swap back was very quick, and we gave this offer out last time, and it got us some comedy gold, so I'm just going to go with it now. Ren was in the middle of doing something that, other than buying coffee when they were swapped back. What was it? Anything at all?
Painting Michelangelo's David.
Faking or making? Painting Michelangelo. So you were in the middle of painting David the statue? You were painting the statue.
Painting the statue.
A painting of or making the statue different colours? Okay.
Painting pants on boy.
Organising the wine collection?
Wire collection.
Wire?
Little bits of wire.
Little bits of wire. Okay, you have a pocket full of little bits of wire.
Sounds usual.
And they all have names.
Pocket full of named wire. So if you need to use a piece of wire, I'm going to hear a name. Okay.
Clarence is your favorite.
Clarence is the
He
favourite.
is not.
Okay.
He's very naughty.
Okay, there's a difference. There's a difference between offers and taking over, and you need to learn it. So, that, ladies, everybody, was Ren. I need to flail left because I'm going to hit my co-stars. Turning to my right, Ravier. I'm going to ask the same question. What were you doing last session? You just got swapped out.
I went to Splendor in the Grass.
Ah. And what happened? What was that like?
That
did
was
you enjoy
great.
yourself?
Yeah, definitely.
Who was your favourite?
My favorite. For real?
Sure.
Like local, the local scene kind of music. I don't like big bands. I just feel like they're, they kind of get too too much. Too big for their boots. Anyway,
corporate kind
yeah,
of
I mean,
thing?
so
Okay.
you wouldn't have heard of my band, like my favorite
Okay,
band.
so
it's
it's an
okay.
obscure band that I
Yeah,
probably
yeah.
wouldn't have heard of.
Yeah.
Was your favourite? Okay. Now you are, as we've said before, you're a social justice monk. You are the wokest member of the team. I think
am.
that's safe to say. Now, how long did you study to become a social justice monk?
Well, I think it's something that chooses you. You can't really study for it. So it either chooses you or it doesn't choose you.
So, at the risk of torpedoing your like position in the eyes of your friends as a capable combatant, do you know how to fight?
Oh yeah,
Okay,
yeah, of
that
course.
goes without saying. And
Yeah.
do you do any other sort of fitness things, or is it just the?
I'm really into CrossFit.
Okay. So, we established before that Ravia has a driving passion in regards to smallpox. And you'll remember I'm a big fan of qualifying offers, and I asked pro or con, and we established that Ravia is pro smallpox. So Ravia's aim is to remove the stigma around smallpox. I think we established that because it's quite small, it can be an artisanal, locally sourced pox, as opposed to the big corporate pox that everybody gets and isn't cool anymore. And now we have another offer, and it's the same thing, because once again, let's see if we can get that happening again. You were swapped out very quickly. Ravia was in the middle of doing something, returned from Splendor in the Grass as he was. What was he in the middle of doing?
Milling hats.
Milling hats.
Lots of grass.
Lots of grass.
Baking cookies.
Baking cookies. You have a tray of cookies, still warm in your hand. Congratulations!
They're vegan, right?
That's your call.
Okay.
Baking vegan cookies. There we go. And so, that's Ravia, everybody! And so now we turn to Gabriel Felsol, human warlock. Now, looking at you, how do you feel the adventure is going?
I feel it's going very well. We've all grown a lot as people. Me in particular, I grow a lot. Sort of like a changeling inside. I'm constantly discovering, learning. I'm a very intense person that way.
What's the favourite thing you've discovered about yourself?
I like shortbread. And I'm okay with admitting that.
Okay. And do you have any goals, like, after this adventure? What are you hoping to achieve at the end of this?
Look, I've been outside a lot. I'm not really keen on that. So some good time indoors. Just get rid of whatever small amount of tan I've managed to gain during this adventure. Work on my art. Obviously, I don't stop doing that.
Okay, and so once you've gotten rid of that couple of angstroms of darkness that you've established, you'll be happier. So Gabriel is a warlock, and for those people who aren't aware, warlocks focus their power through an arcane object of dark significance. And through the offer process, it was established that Gabriel's arcane focus is a Limp Bizkit CD.
Lincoln Park?
Linkin Park!
Park CD.
I still had to work. Sorry.
Oh.
That's probably his arch enemy in the warlock field. And he secretly loves ducklings because he was here last time and so has too. Now, Gabriel usually subsists on a kind of a cold drip coffee and off-brand ramen, but there's one majorly common plebeian food that he's just ashamed to admit that he can't resist. And what might that be? Smashed Avo! Why would you keep mining when you've hit gold? Gabriel Felsol loves Smashed Ammo. Let's hear it for the offer. Let's hear it for Gabriel, and let's hear it for your party. Now, I mentioned we'd be rolling some D20s before. Let's all practice that. I want to establish an initiative order before we get into a combat that you will completely ignore and turn into a social event. So that's a 19 from Ravia.
20.
20!
Don't get too excited.
Natural one.
A natural 1 from Richard the Mighty. And a 7
7.
from Ren. So I have a list. It's on a post-it note. Look at that. We are ready to begin. So let's turn the page now. Thank you.
Hold on, I got it.
Let's turn the page now.
It's not working.
That's right. Imagine bell tinkles. Bell tinkles. So the adventure takes place in a fantasy post-apocalyptic world. The cataclysm of steam tore reality asunder, letting magic flow back into the ruins of our world, bringing with it all manner of trope-laden creatures, people and settings. Once again, this is a completely original idea and I haven't stolen from anybody. Every tree in the pine forest of the Arboretum is tended by the elves. A dragon has burrowed into the National Mint, and the terrible months following the cataclysm, as smoke poured from funeral pyres and marauding bands of conscienceless raiders roamed from town to town. Queanbeyan was much the same, really. Maybe fractionally better, because now some people could do magic and shit, so that's perfectly fine. Now, we've also established that everybody here has a slightly crap magical item. So Gabriel has magic eyeliner, lets him squint and see things as they are, which I adjust as I need. Ravia has a magic hacky sack, which is good for either combat or manscaping. I can't remember your one, which
Neither
is
can
rude
I.
of me. That's okay. What's a really lame magic item that Ren could have? You have an unlimited flask of tea.
On top of this flask?
Do you have many flasks? Flask of tea. Sorry, I'm not writing quicker.
Unlimited tea?
Like, it just keeps going. It fills up.
That's the worst.
I know, right? Unlimited. And Richard the Mighty also has a somewhat lame magic item. What is that? Bread. You have magic bread. You have a loaf of bread that was given to you by your village that they assure you was magic. Is it magic? We'll see what I feel like when he goes to use it, shall we? It changes like sensation and structure. So previously on Roll 4 Intelligence, our heroes rescued Scurry the Squirrel from a crabman and found out that he was on a quest to retrieve 3 magic items. The leg hairs of the Dark Lord Azazoth, tick 1, they got that one. The bifocals of focusing, and a portrait of an orange troll. They've journeyed to the town of Glendronach and sought clues. They've dealt with a 2-headed giant and a disproportionately complicated puzzle that really wasn't that bad. They then completely destroyed a creature with terrible teeth and terrible claws and terrible tusks in its terrible jaws, and we all know how that went. And then they've moved on and they found themselves on a forest path. Gabriel hit on a zombie Little Red Riding Hood, and that went much better than he was expecting, and he had no idea what to do. But then together they found a lonely old grandma, stole some stuff, and smushed her horribly.
She was a cannibal.
She was a cat. They've made their way across the Lake of Glass, and they're in the middle of the lake on an island. On the island were some stone ruins. One of the buildings of the stone ruins was still largely intact, and it is in that room we have found ourselves. Let us turn the page now. Yes. So you're in the building once more. There is a small ledge at above head height. It's got about a 10-foot high ceiling. There is a row of dusty bottles with liquids inside. You tried the orange one and somebody's balloon got pumped. You will see we have no continuity for that. Someone tried the milky one and they sprouted a teeny weeny head that made fun of them for about 5 minutes before it fell off. So there still remains a green one and a blue one.
I tried the blue one.
Do you?
Sure.
Okay, now you are twice the size you were before and you can nearly reach the shelf. So Gabriel Felsol is now, what, 10, 12 feet tall? How tall are you?
11 feet tall.
You're 11 feet tall. We split the difference. So Gabriel Felsol is now 11 feet tall. He's looking like he might be a little bit mightier than you. I'll just throw that in there to sow a little bit of discord.
I tell him to drink the green one because it'll also do cool stuff for him.
No, Richard must drink the green one. He will grow even taller.
Richard drinks the green one. Richard is now 3 foot and has grown to about half Richard's original size. But, can you roll a d20 for me, Richard? 7. Okay, never mind. Carry on, as you were.
So I'm the only person who has any idea, like, why we're in this room or how we got here?
Would you like a cookie?
Sure. Alright.
Do you want this tea?
Let's get all our offers out straight away. Yes! Yes! I have a cookie and endless tea.
No. I'm not giving you all the tea. Just some of the
Try
tea.
and stop me!
No, just...
The giant has just taken your tea flask.
I no longer
Hold on
have
a second,
tea.
roll a d20, please.
Oh.
That's a 2. The giant has just taken your coffee flask.
I'm not going to heal you.
Richard the Mighty needs some healing.
Put it in my jacket. It'll fit.
Is Axe Face big or small?
Axe Face has grown with you. Shrunk with you even.
It's okay, everybody. I still have my keep cup.
I'm still the largest of the party.
Is there ways out of this room? I can't remember what.
The door's shut behind you. It's just a sealed square of stone.
You said I could reach a shelf now?
You can almost reach the shelf. I've lied. It was 20 feet
I'm gonna
tall.
pick,
Richard the Mighty.
I'll pick Richard
Okay.
the
You
Tiny
pick
up.
Richard the Tiny up.
The Mighty.
So
Yeah.
Richard the Mighty Tiny has been picked up, and you have a look on the ledge, and you see a glint over in the corner.
I get on the shelf.
Yeah.
Okay, you're on the shelf. You can walk around on the shelf, and you find a key.
I have a key.
It's a key.
The
It's
Mighty's key is on the shelf.
it's relative, like for your size. It looks like it's a normal size key, so it's quite large. Key to the city kind of thing. You can pretend you're impressive, and someone with a sash gave it to you.
Is there a door that goes with this key?
None that you can see.
I look for a door.
I'll pick him back
Roll a
down.
d20, please. You pick him back down. That's a 6. Nah. Nah.
I'm getting really
Anyone
tired,
else want
everybody.
to?
This sounds like a time for a Richard story. I think we can all learn something from one of my tales.
Richard starts to speak.
It all started.
Gabriel, use your eyeliner.
I'll use my eyeliner.
Okay.
Please, God.
So you
When you
squint.
apply my eyeliner, I squint.
You squint. You see that this is very definitely some kind of magic room. The key is very definitely magic. Can you roll a d20 for me and do it twice and use the bigger one? 15. 20! There's totally a mouse hole down there, and there's totally something in it.
Richard,
Yes.
in the mouse hole.
He's still too big for the mouse hole.
Richard,
a mouse hole.
Richard will get through this mouse hole.
You're mighty
using
enough
his
to get
mighty
through, yeah.
Axe of just axe facing.
Okay. You hit the stone. You strike sparks and chips from the stone, but the mouse hole is still too small for you.
Richard might just not give up after one strike.
Okay, Richard the Mighty is chipping away at the stone. What does anyone else want to do?
Whoa! My eyeliner lets me see that this isn't tea.
Oh!
Thank you.
I'm sorry,
Heal
Ren.
the party. Oh.
I take the tea.
You can take the tea. I
You
drink a lot
have
of
the
coffee.
tea.
I drink the tea.
You drink the tea.
Are there any more?
Let's say tea again, shall we?
Are there any more vials left? Or
Oh yeah,
anything
there's
else?
still stuff left in the green one. There's still stuff left in the blue one. They're not empty.
I have bad news for the party. This hole isn't opening even through my mighty.
Hey Richard, do you know what will make you even stronger?
Oh, please help me.
Drinking this.
Oh, excellent.
It's I had him the green bottle.
Okay, you take a sip. You are now about twice as big as you would need to be to fit in the hole.
Oh,
You need to be stronger still. Just drink some more. I'm a cleric. You should.
You are
listen to
now
me.
exactly the right height to fit through the hole.
Trust me. I'm a cleric.
we had one of those at the village.
Cool.
You know,
Okay, you go in the hole.
with the key.
Inside the hole, you find a chest.
A chest.
It is a chest.
Only Axe Face can open this chest.
The chest is about the size of, comparatively to you, about the size of this table. Sorry.
I woke up. I found a chest.
Good.
Richard the White has done his job for this.
Open the chest.
Of course I will.
The key is now not quite as big as you are. So it's a bit hard to manage.
I will use all the strength Richard has.
Please roll a d20
And
for
his
me.
magic bread.
Okay. Roll a d20 for me.
Card games.
I will.
There you go. That's a 7! So your magic bread isn't. However, it's tasty. It's very nice. It's light. It's obviously a sourdough. And that happiness that you get from eating really good bread, because how good is really good bread? Apologies to any celiacs in there, but it's really good.
Excellent.
Lets you get the key and you open it up. It's unlocked. The chest is now unlocked. My words have gone away. So you should be able to try and open it up.
Axe Face, do your business.
Okay, the roof of the mouse hole means you can't open the chest. The chest has to come out of the mouse hole somehow. He's still trying. So you hear these little, like, squeaky noises of grunty effort.
I walk out again. There's bad news. This chest will not open.
Can you?
If we look into the mouse hole, could we like reach in and grab the chest?
try.
I'm gonna try that.
Okay. 20! You reach in and grab the chest. You now have a little wooden chest in your hand.
And I open it.
Okay, you open it up, and inside the chest, you find the bifocals of focusing! Quest item! Ding! You also find a small vial with a brown potion in it.
Richard, you clearly weren't mighty enough. Have the brown.
Okay, you have a potion, brown potion. It's about, like, it's the size of a massive bottle.
Very questionable. Thus.
Okay, you raise it to your lips, nothing comes out of it. There's a liquid in it and it's sloshing around, but it's not coming out. You can't drink it.
Can we just like drop him in? How big is it? Can we just like
He won't
dangle
fit
him?
in it.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
This is no good.
Does anyone have a straw?
Plastic straw is actually really bad for the environment. But metal straws, good. But I don't have one. Sorry, no. Nope.
Handy story. All right. Cheating with magic.
I might be able to dunk my bread in there.
Okay, so you try and dunk the bread in there, and it goes beyond the level of the end of the flask, but it doesn't pick up any of the potion, and the potion doesn't displace.
I think it's a fake potion.
I think it's a magic potion. Can I roll to see if there's anything? Like,
Kid roll,
how
see,
to-
have a go.
If I know what potion
Roll
it
for
is?
inspiration. 2! You get no inspiration.
Seeing as
You
I'm a
are-
cleric and I know potions and that kind of
Yep.
stuff, I would like to use
Yep.
my medicine
Yep.
in it, which I'm probably proficient in.
That's a 5.
Because I only rolled a 5.
You don't understand how he can't drink it. Like, it's a potion. You put it in your mouth and you drink it. He's clearly, like, just missing
Wait
something.
a second, there was a cleric at my village. They might have known something.
Sure. 11. You think that it's not just about you having difficulties drinking. You're not sure if this is actually a drinking potion. It might have some other purpose.
I have a feeling this might be a rub-on.
Well, dip your finger in.
You dip your finger in, and nothing comes out, and the liquid doesn't displace. It just kind of
Can I try something?
Of course you can.
I'll take it
Yeah.
and I'll throw it at the wall.
Okay, you throw the potion at the wall.
The potion.
The flask smashes, and the brown fluid hits the wall and then trickles down, and as it trickles down, it forms the shape of a door.
Sometimes you just gotta not look at things on the surface level, guys. You gotta look deeper.
Okay.
Alright, can we go through the door?
Through the door.
He can't.
Alright, we go through the door.
Is there any of that
You
green, any of that
are
green potion
about
left?
12 inches tall. There is green potion left.
I'll take some green.
Okay, you take a sip of the green potion, and you are now your normal size again.
All right. Do I still have a goat?
Yes!
There was a goat. All right.
There was a goat.
I'm gonna send the goat through the door.
Okay, you open the door. The door opens, and on the other side of the door, you see a winding path across a grassy plain.
Oh, that's nice.
And the goat goes through the door and goes to the grassy plain.
Be free.
And sniffs the grass in the grassy plain.
There's a
And
goat.
chews at the grass in the grassy plain.
I've slayed many of those before.
The rest of us go through the door.
Okay,
Go through the door.
you're gonna go through Richard the Tiny?
I will manly walk through that door.
Okay.
Is there
go through
blue
the door.
potion
When I
left
forget
over?
that he's 12 inches tall, you all need to remind me.
Is there blue potion left
There
over
is
there?
blue potion left.
I pick it up and put it in my pocket.
Okay. You have the blue potion in your pocket.
Cool.
Okay. So you are on plains. You look up and see in the distance there is a tall tree. It looks dried out, dead,
giant
and
tree.
dying, and it has dark marks up and down its trunk.
We inspect
cool?
It looks cool. It looks wicked cool, like dark as.
All right. I look thoughtful in front of it for a while.
Okay. Oh no, it's way in the distance. You would have to approach.
Yeah, I'll just make sure that the other people can see.
Oh,
it
you're
over my
looking like.
shoulder.
Oh, I
Yeah.
can see it now. Like
Yeah.
they're looking over. You can see the comic panel, can't you? He's looking over, and it's in the. Yeah, it's wonderful.
All right. I'll go now.
Let's go chop it down.
Why would you jump it down?
That's all you can see. It's just grassy plains. There's some mountaininess, but that's the only thing of interest.
Okay, we approach. I'm gonna approach the
Everything
tree.
else is a skybox. That's the only thing that's rendered.
Okay.
So
approaching the tree.
Sorry,
Yeah.
wrong
I like
story.
it. Last time you gave us a choice which way to go.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to do
Clearly
that
learned
this
from
time.
We go
There's a
towards.
choice.
Head to the mountains.
You have to go past the tree.
Fine.
The tree follows you, whichever angle you go. So as you approach, you realize that the tree is actually much, much taller than you first thought. In fact, it is so tall that its top branches appear to reach into some low clouds that are just gathered around the top of it. Now, on its branches, you see dried and rotten fruits of every kind, and the dark marks you saw approaching look like windows carved into the tree, and doorways that lead onto thicker branches or just into the air itself. One opening at the base looks like the end of a long, polished slide that stretches up into the trunk of the tree, with patches of light suggesting there are other openings into the slide.
It's the faraway tree. Can I climb it?
Yep, there's a set of stairs up the thing. You can climb and investigate it.
Hello, anyone there?
It is very old and dry. The fruit has fallen. There's worms. It's rotten.
I continue climbing.
Okay,
I
so
snoop
follow up.
around.
you want to investigate?
We're telling
Some
me I
rules.
can carry Richard up this tree.
Oh, the CrossFit.
I'll hold Richard.
Okay,
I've got
so
him.
you're holding Richard.
Yeah.
Ah.
On my palm like this.
So
can
as
see.
you go into the tree, in the first room, you find there is a short humanoid skeleton, clad in rags and bedecked with the rusted remains of pots and pans and other metal kitchenware. In another room is a skeleton. The body isn't much bigger than a child, but the skull is very large and round.
Like a moon?
And in the bottom room, you find a female body in a room full of rotten and ancient clothing. It is half in and out of a washing tub. The legs are desiccated, and the tub itself has been partially evaporated soup of decomposition.
I'm gonna take that giant skull.
You have a giant skull.
I look around. Is there any signs of what happened? Like
So,
any struggle or?
You can't see any signs of violence.
We wanna
It
know
looks
what
almost-
happened.
Now, as you investigate, lay down as well, you keep hearing little hints of things. Maybe higher up in the tree, you hear little echoes of what might be laughter and a slithering, dragging sound like snakes or something.
Not creepy at all.
I keep climbing.
Did I ever tell you about the time I slayed 10 snakes at once?
Okay.
Oh, it was a wonderful
I say
day.
shh and put him in my pocket. I continue climbing. Continue climbing.
Okay. I would like you all now to roll a d20 for me. Not you, you're in a pocket. 2! 19!
Finally.
2! You think you catch a glimpse of movement disappearing around the corner. So the trunk you're in now is like half the width of this room, and there's the rooms and the various other pathways, and you think you saw something going up that way.
I yell, "Hey!"
You hear him, and it disappears.
Still not creepy at all. I think that's weird. Did
So
you
I
all,
can't hear anything, can I? Can I roll the two?
You heard something, you
Okay.
didn't see anything.
Did
You
you
heard
all did you all see that?
No.
No.
That was weird.
No.
That
I
was
was too
weird.
busy writing poetry.
There was a weird laughing. We should go that way.
I want to try something. I'm gonna take out my giant skull
Yep.
and I'm gonna cast Bring Me to Life on it.
What's bring me to life?
Revives it enough for it to tell us things
Okay.
and feel things.
That's deep.
The skull twitches in your hand.
Hey, skull.
You guys, what's going on?
That was.
What happened?
That's what we were gonna ask you.
Well,
What-
all I remember is horrible laughter and a feeling of being held and tight and prodded all over.
Sounds pretty dark.
Did the laughter sound anything like this? And I like yeah, that.
Exactly like that, yes.
Okay, I think we should leave the tree. I don't want to follow it because I don't want to end up looking like this.
Alright, I put it back in my pocket.
How long does the spell last?
There's no rules.
Okay.
I'm less inclined to follow the
So
creepy
two of
laughter.
the party now have muffled voices in their pockets.
I don't want to go first. I don't want to go first.
I'm going first. I'm still climbing.
Okay, Ravi, you go
Continue
first.
climbing.
Now you turn a corner, and just as you turn a corner, you see in front of you a large, bulbous creature with stubby arms and legs. Its leathery yellow flesh resembles a not quite inflated balloon, and it has a leering, smiling mouth that is so huge it almost splits its body in two. It has rounded, dirty white teeth with visible bits of flesh and grossness trapped between them. And I'd like you to roll, please. 12! You feel happy.
Cool.
You don't know
Good.
why you feel happy, but you feel happy.
All right.
Anyone?
Because she's
Oh, you're in the pocket. Good point, well made. Oh, actually, roll the die for me.
19.
19! You're in the same pocket as the blue potion.
jump.
Okay, you jump into the blue potion. Okay. As this hideous, bulbous apparition approaches, you suddenly feel a colossal weight in your pocket as your clothes erupt outwards. And Richard the Mighty stands before you, a good 1.5 feet taller than he was before. I want you to roll a d20 for me. Natural 20. Somehow, preternaturally sensing he's going to grow big, he bends and doesn't lose a balloon, smacking his head on the roof of this room.
This is
And now you're here. There is a yellow thing in front of you laughing and coming towards you with a huge creepy. Can you roll a d20 for me again? There's lots of rolling this session. That's a 5. You are so happy. This guy here clearly just wants you to be happy. Look at him. He's like the physical embodiment of happiness with only a little bit of rotten flesh in his rounded off-white teeth.
We have made a new friend. Oh, excellent.
Have you guys entered the room yet?
I'll enter the room. I'll see
Yeah,
what's
I'm
what.
free.
Okay, so you
As
guys
well.
can give me that, please. 10, you get advantage because you're always unhappy. Thank you for the offer. Okay, you're like really happy and wired. That's a 2 and a 5.
A 6.
6. Everybody is so happy, and you are in fact so happy that you don't notice the second figure approaching from behind you. But you turn and look to see another bulbous body with stubby legs, but instead of stubby arms, it has snake-like, extraordinarily long arms. Its skin is that same partially deflated balloon texture, but it is orange, and it is about to attempt to grab you two, because I was looking at you when I said it. So roll d20s for me, please. That's a natural 20 for the baddie. That's a 2 and a natural 20 for Richard the Mighty. The Asama, the happy, wired, jittery Asama is wrapped around by these enormously long orange hands, and then the hand starts to tickle you. We'll deal with that soon. What would you guys like to do?
I turn to Ravia and say, look, I finally feel like we're in a good enough place that I can really just start talking about smashed avocado. I haven't felt okay about it until now, but I think, I don't know, like it's just idiots like it, but I like it. Does that make me an idiot?
Well, avocados are actually really bad for the environment because you have to clear rainforests to plant them.
I don't care about the environment.
And in your happy state, you can kind of see his point of view. Like it's
Sort of, I
weird,
mean,
but
The environment's fucked anyway. Everything's fucked. Why not enjoy avocado?
and you too.
I sit down and think about that with my goat.
Isn't the goat still grazing?
Probably.
No, the goat's way back.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
left the
it's
goat
grazing.
behind.
It's fine.
Oh, roll a d20.
10.
The shock of realizing that your goat is missing does nothing to stop you from still being magically happy.
Good.
Okay. So,
I look at Ren and I'm like, this doesn't seem like. Have you given your consent to this snake man?
I don't enjoy this. I'm too overcaffeinated for this. It's overstimulating. I don't like this. Stop it.
Can I do an action?
you can, because we're about to start the whole combat thing.
Okay. I would like to cast hashtag this is what a feminist looks like.
What is hashtag this is what a feminist looks like do?
I buff my female teammates, but only if they thank me and acknowledge how great I am.
You feel like you are being supported by Ravia.
I'll endure the tickling.
I tried. Some people don't want to be helped.
Gabriel, what do you want to do?
I'm happy. I have no powers.
Didn't even
So
do that on
I'm
purpose.
just being tickled, right?
You're being tickled at the moment.
I grab the bifocals of focus and I put them on.
Okay. Now you are very much concentrating on all the things that you don't like about this situation. You are feeling constricted. You haven't had a sip of coffee in 15 seconds, and you're being tickled, and you don't like it.
Okay. In that case,
Oh, actually, yeah. Roll me a d20. 6. You're still happy though.
with my other hand, can I take an action?
You can.
All right. I reach into my pocket and I cast pocket grounds, and I've got just coffee grounds in my pocket, and I throw them in this orange thing's face.
Okay. That's
And
awesome.
yell, pocket grounds!
Pocket grounds. Okay, the thing starts to squeal. It gives you one really, really, really tight grab with its arm, but then it flails away and is trying desperately to get its hands to its face to get rid of the coffee grounds, but it's all about reaching its hands out. It doesn't have a lot of practice with getting them at its face, and so it's not doing very well. It is Richard's go.
I've never been so happy to destroy a monster. I am so excited. I've killed the otter, the ferret. Now, tickle monster.
Okay, give me the 20 roll.
Axe face. Vanquish him.
Okay, you roll a 4. So Axe Face misses and buries itself in the ground, but you're able to get it out. Okay, now the creepy things are gonna lash out again, this time for you and you, because variety is a slice of life. That's not good. Okay, so can you roll yours as well, because this is a contested roll. We're gonna see who gets highest.
14.
14 and a 4. Gabriel, you've been grabbed by the tickly monster. The tickly monster then lashes out and actually smacks the yellow friend because it fumbled horribly and got a 1, and the yellow friend stumbles a little bit. Oh?
Is it
Sympathy for the baddie.
Is it staggered down?
No.
No.
Right.
Let's go to the top of the order again. That's Gabriel.
So Gabriel has actually prepared for this scenario.
Yep.
There have been times in the past where joy has threatened to seep into Gabriel's life and ruin his artistic integrity.
Yep.
So Gabriel hadn't intended to do this yet. Gabriel usually waits for the second half of the show.
Yes.
But Gabriel's going to read some poetry. Try and cure his team and everything around him of joy. Opens up his book. Now this is original work by Gabriel, I'll have you know. All around me are familiar faces. Worn out places. Worn out faces. Bright and early for their daily races. Going nowhere. Going nowhere. Their tears are filling up their glasses. No expression. No expression. Hide my head, I want to drown my sorrow. No tomorrow. No tomorrow. And I find it kind of funny. I find it kind of sad. The dreams in which I'm dying are the best I've ever had. I find it hard to tell you. I find it hard to take. When people run in circles, it's a very, very mad world.
You are no longer happy. The happiness has been drained for you. Even the giant bulbous yellow happy thing, the corners of its enormous mouth start to twitch down just a little bit. And so, it's time for you guys to do something.
Oh, me.
You ready?
Hey. I would like to use Get Woke.
What does Get Woke do?
Ironically, I try to knock him out.
Okay, roll a d20 for me. 13! That's enough! So, you run up How do you approach the yellow guy, orange guy? Who are you knocking out?
The
Yellow guy.
I don't know. I just stride over very confidently.
Yep.
And like a little bit sad. But yeah, and then I just use my staff and give him a good whack on the head.
Okay, so you give him a good whack on the head. His body deforms around the staff by a good 4 or 5 inches as you bring it down on his head. There is a crack. His eyes roll into the back of his enormous body, and he falls to the ground.
Good. I say, I'm sorry, Martin Luther King Jr. I tried peaceful options. Continue.
Bryn.
So now the
Orange
orange
guy.
guy is kind of there. Okay, I'm gonna cast Call of the Green Mermaid, which is where I compel someone to leave so they can go and open a Starbucks.
Okay. That's a 12. That's enough. So the orange creature, about to reach out for you with its arms again, goes and thinks and says in its language, which you understand because it's funnier that way, I must open a Starbucks. And it turns and runs, its arms flailing behind it like the tail of a kite as it disappears out of the room and out of your lives.
My order's a double venti soy caramel latte. Don't forget it. All right, thanks. Bye.
And so, you have defeated your foes.
Yes.
So what does this benighted tree hold for our heroes? Will they find the third item? Will they find their way home? How will we know? Well, we'll know because we're going to have a second half of the show. Yay! So I will remind you again to please go to the bar and purchase things. The more things you purchase, the happier our hosts are. And if we don't have happy hosts, we have to just do it in the street, which is not as much fun for me because I get cold really easily. So please, buy yourselves a drink, buy yourselves a snack. The gluten-free cookie things are amazing. And we will see you all in 15 minutes. Genuine comedy dungeon crawling from genuine Canberra celebrities, and no one can tell us otherwise. Please welcome to the stage once more, Richard the Mighty, aka Bela, Ren Lightningfall, aka Helen, Ravier Zud, aka Sharona, and Gabriel Fellsoul, aka Joel. And I, once again, and I apologize, am Ewan. And so, we have defeated 2 completely original and not stolen at all IP monsters, while in a completely original setting that again is not stolen at all. And so we find ourselves in a room in a large, large tree. We can keep going up. We know what's down.
I keep going up.
Maybe we should go down.
Why?
Like when Ewan's eye twitches a little. Alright, we go up.
Continue climbing.
Okay, you continue climbing.
I take the back.
You check the back. Okay. You're at the back? Anyone particularly in the
I'm
lead?
in the middle.
I know I'm doing this. I'm used to the
will
combat
lead
position.
from the front.
Okay, with
Myself and
axe face. The axe with a face. And so, you get to the top of this tree. And at the top of the tree, you find a ladder. And the ladder goes up into the clouds.
I hope it's Candyland. Can I peek up? Am I high enough up to peek over?
You can climb up and peek over.
Alright, peek over.
Okay, you climb up and peek over. And on the other side, you see some rolling hills and a farmhouse.
Does it look like a dangerous farmhouse?
There's a little bit of a wispy smoke happening.
Okay. Could be a dragon in there.
I climb up.
Okay, you climb up past
Yes.
Ravier. So Ravier, you just got climbed over.
Out of the
And
way.
you are now in the land at the top of the tree. Completely
Perfect.
original.
I haven't slaved anything up here yet.
No, you haven't. This is a slave-free zone as far as you're concerned.
Axe face rainforest trees.
So,
There are flowers?
sure, there are flowers. Thank you. I wanted to save it for distracting him when there was something around.
Where? Oh,
There's a
these are
pink
the-
one over there.
These are the mightiest posies I have ever seen. Oh yes, I will call you Flower Face. Oh, Posel, I like you.
Flower Face and Posol. Let's all remember them, shall we? Flower Face and Posol.
I'm guessing the rest of us have gone up the ladder by now.
He'll follow
I'm
up.
hoping so.
The rest of us have gone up the ladder.
You haven't split the party yet. Let's not start now.
What's it
split the
like up
partner.
here? Is it daytime?
It is daytime.
Is it pretty and sunshiny?
It's
and-
wonderfully pretty and sunshiny.
I cast 2 minutes to midnight.
What is 2 minutes?
It changes the time.
It is now roughly 11:58
Ah,
p.m.
yeah.
Is it just Richard or has it gotten darker?
Both.
Posel, this isn't good.
So the only feature in this lovely sort of green farming sort of area is the house up ahead.
Does it look suspicious?
It looks interesting.
Are the lights on? So can we see anything? Is it like just dark?
It's dark. There might be the glimmer of a candle in the in one of the windows.
I have dark vision.
You do have dark vision.
Can I see anything extra?
No, because it's way more than 60 feet away.
Okay.
Let's go off.
Shall we
Welcome,
approach?
everyone.
Ah,
This is the worst. No healing for you.
So as you approach the farmhouse, you notice that it too has a huge cloud above it. There's a cow shed attached to the house, but the door's hanging open. It looks like it hasn't been occupied for quite some time. And it looks like the house itself is empty.
But it's still smoke?
Yep.
time to go in the house.
No, I think we should knock first.
I will knock. Oh,
Sorry, I stole your knocking thunder. It's Foley Wars up here on the stage.
Someone from the other side of the door knocked first.
That means that someone is in there.
Trying to. Well, they want to come out.
So you knocked on the door?
yeah, yes, I've knocked.
Has anything happened?
There is no response.
It is Richard. They may not know who I am, but that is highly doubtful. I open the door.
Okay, you open the door. You go into the door, and it looks like the house itself is also empty. But you think you hear some whispers from the kitchen.
Hey guys, let's go. Kitchen.
After you.
Oh my god. Is there a door
Is there a door?
at the kitchen?
Yes.
I was only joking about that Smash Davo thing before.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was making fun of you. I wasn't being sincere. I don't like smashed avocado. That's way too mainstream.
Well, you mean I told you about the environmental harm, so I don't eat
Yeah, whatever.
avocado, obviously.
I go through the
I'm just
door.
saying.
Okay, you go through the door. In the kitchen, the whispers are starting to get a little bit louder. It sounds like people having an argument, maybe telling some stories. And as you get closer and closer, why did I say that? As you get closer and closer, you can tell that the noise is coming from the pantry. And in the pantry, you see on some of the shelves some withered old potatoes, some desiccated carrots, jars of dried up beans and peas, and it's actually the food that is talking.
Oh.
So the potatoes are going, no, they're going to be back any second. It's okay, we're perfectly fine.
I grab a potato.
Okay, you've grabbed a potato. Wow, what are you doing?
Ah, you look tasty, potato.
What are you
Really
doing?
tasty.
No, don't eat that.
What?
It's talking to you.
I really am.
Oh, I thought there was something going on in the air up here. Right.
Also, I don't think the vegan would like that very much.
I mean, potatoes are vegetables.
That's awkward, isn't it?
How do you feel about this?
What's the vegan position on sentient potatoes?
Do I need to become a fruitarian now?
So
I
you're
only
talking
eat-
fruit in the room?
I only eat nuts
There's
and
no
berries
turkey
now.
fruit. It's all vegetables and pulses.
So, potato, what's happening?
Well, the people that live here have left, and the carrots think that they're going to come back, and I'm sure they're not. I think we've been left alone and abandoned. It's been a very long time. I mean, obviously I'm a potato. I can't tell time very well, but I was fresh and large, and now I'm all withered and little with those green furry things shooting off me.
Sprouts.
Ah, with it in it.
So wait, who lived here before?
There was a woman and her son.
Cool. And they just left.
They left.
And
They said something about a quest.
okay, and they just left you here?
Well, yes. There was other food they took, but apparently we're not as tasty or as portable.
Did you tell them this?
That is fair.
No.
Could you tell them this?
No. We've only really started talking in the last couple of, I guess, days.
Did they eat many of your friends?
Loads of them.
Did they taste good?
I don't know. I didn't eat them.
I wanna wander around and look at the paintings in the house.
Okay, you look in the paintings in the house.
Are there any of them of an orange troll?
None of the paintings in the house are of the orange troll.
That would have been too easy.
It really, really would have.
I want to squint and look at them.
What did they look like? What
They're
did your-
paintings.
Ah,
What did they look like? The people who lived here before, were they hideous?
So do potatoes have eyes? Do they have eyes? Do they have mouths? Or is it telekinesis?
It's just,
I
the sound is emanating from them.
Okay, so they don't have mouths.
No.
They're not like.
It's not a Muppet situation.
Okay. No. So they can't see anything. Okay.
I can murder the faraway tree's inhabitants, but mention the Muppets and everyone gets sad. I mean, it was a completely original idea.
The tree of a long distance.
Yes.
Can I search the rest of the house?
Okay,
for
you search the
clues?
rest of the house. As you're searching, you hear a little voice. Some going, I can tell you the truth. I know what happens.
Was that in the pantry?
Yeah, he's in the pantry.
I dig around.
It's one of the carrots.
What is it?
Ignore him. The potatoes don't mean jack and the beans talk, but I know the truth.
I'm gonna keep you for later, potato.
Too quick.
What does the carrot say?
The carrot
Tell me the
says
truth.
that there is a deep dungeon. They went on a quest to the deep dungeon to find a magical item.
Would this be something we're also looking for?
I
Coincidentally?
reckon
I can't
it'd
remember
be a
what
bit
item.
foolish 2.5 sessions in to start bringing new stuff and give you red herrings.
I can't remember what item we're looking for.
I give
but
you
it
neon
seems like-
arrows and you get distracted. You think I'm going to give you red herrings?
Was this a carrot?
It was the carrot. The carrot's down.
Carrot, how do you feel about adventuring with an amazing party led by a hero of
If a carrot's chest could swell with pride, it absolutely would.
Carrot, you're coming with us.
Yippee! So long, suckers!
What about the rest of the vegetables? I mean, they're just gonna sit here getting moldy.
I open up my sack.
You have a sack full of vegetables that can talk to you. You never plan for these things.
Are there any other clues in the house?
Is there a map somewhere, perhaps?
Yes, the clue in the house is the carrot telling you explicitly where to go.
Which dungeon?
Carrot.
Where's the dungeon? Carrot.
too late. The carrot's now in the sack, so
We
we can't hear it. There's a lot of carrots in there. How can we find that original carrot in there?
Either way.
Wait a second, you have a lucky dip.
Roll a d20. That's a 3. You pull out the potato again. Hey, where are we going? You put me in a sack. Keep rolling. This is fun. Sorry, guys. I'm enjoying it. 20! You find exactly the right carrot. You don't know how, but he's managed to... You know how they get the little stringy root bits on the end when they get old? He's managed to tie it into a headband.
Where are we off to, foul carrot? I mean, friend carrot.
We need to find Gurg.
Is that the whole word?
The home of Gurg has the entrance to the deep dungeon, and that's where they went.
Okay, and where might we find this Gurg?
Gurg lives in the mount. I don't know why I'm gesturing. It's a carrot. Gurg lives in the mountains.
Swap your hair towards it.
That if you just leave the house, I'm really sure you'll see them. They are literally mountains.
That's where I wanted to go.
The silence bar, Jack.
Alright, chaps, shall we go towards the mountains?
Ah, that is a fine idea.
I don't want to anymore.
Well, you can stay here, and the rest of us will have adventures.
Yes, our potato friends.
I'll go to the mountains.
I have a captive audience in my bag.
Okay.
We go to the mountains.
You go towards the mountains. So as you go towards the mountains, they're large mountains. They're very nice. They've got some trees on them. I blanked on trees because words are hard. They've got trees on them, and as you approach, you see that there's a cave at the base of one of these mountains. And around the edge of the cave, there's this sort of weaved, almost sort of woodwork kind of wickery thing. And in... Yes? They're still in the land in the clouds. So, as you approach, in front of the cave opening, you see what appears to be a small brown haystack that is streaked with slightly lighter brown. And as you watch, it moves around and it looks like it's picking up kindling.
That haystack is moving.
I don't see how that's any of our concern.
And as you get closer to the thing that the carrot literally said was the entrance to the deep dungeon, you see that one side of the haystack has a big drooping nose on it and large friendly eyes, and it has these little feet that you can see underneath pattering around.
Ah!
Are you
Friendly
okay?
haystack. Friendly, yes.
Yeah, it's making kindling. It turns and looks at you and kind of
I am
bobs up and
Richard,
down.
and these are the defenders of the realm. Yes, it's a great
Did
name.
we have this name? What?
Didn't agree to that.
It'll stick, trust me. Tell us, we're after an entrance in a mountain. How can you help us?
He like looks at the cave and looks at you guys and looks at the cave and looks at you guys. It can't shrug because it's basically just like a hillock, but if it could shrug, it would shrug.
Are you Gurg?
Jumps up and down.
Are you Grug?
No, it's completely legally distinct.
We go.
He jumps up and down.
That way into the
The
dungeon?
entrance, yep.
Did two people come here earlier?
Jumps up and down.
Like a couple days ago? Some days ago. A time ago.
Jumps up and down.
Cool.
Do you want to come with us? We have a lot of route.
Backwards and forwards. Shake, shake, shake. Hammer, hammer. No.
What do you think? What shape do you think the creature under all this hair is?
There's only one way to find out.
I pour infinite tea on Go. Get the hair wet so it.
Yes.
It's like when you see a cat wet and you're like, wow, that's the shape of a cat?
Oh, perfect.
How hot is the tea?
It's a pretty good flask.
Oh.
So you pop open the flask, steam wafts from the flask,
Oh, I feel
and you
bad
reach
now.
towards Gurg.
Oh, wait, I have a spell.
Okay.
Instead, I cast Only Happy When It Rains.
And
Rain.
so, Thunderclap, like what's like big, like this,
Yeah.
it's just like a really focused,
Water.
like you just dumping on him. Everybody is now very, very wet. Gurg is soaked.
What shape is Gurg?
Gurg is now a kind of elongated cylinder with feet at the bottom and big eyes and the big nose, and he looks very sad. Very, very sad.
Only idiots are happy.
You're in the right
I
place.
respect you, Gurg.
Good job. Let's go.
That was really upsetting.
I walk towards the cave entrance.
Okay, you walk towards the cave entrance. As you walk towards the cave entrance, this being almost like a rainbow appears in front of the entrance.
It's beautiful. Gabriel, look at the rainbow.
I cast Fade to Black on it.
Ooh, can you roll me a d20?
17!
Okay. What would have been a balloon popping headache doesn't form, but you are thrust backwards from as two very powerful magics meet, and you are pushed backwards.
It's still a rainbow.
It's absolutely still a rainbow. It's still got all of those colours, the super pretty colours that everybody likes.
Lame.
Can we approach the rainbow?
You can approach the rainbow. Like it's in front of the door, like right up against the doorway.
It's like a rainbow, not like a solid rainbow, right? Like you
Can I
could
put my
walk
hand-
through it.
You can try.
I put axe face through it.
Okay, you put axe face through it. What I would like you to do, I have prepared this. Roll a d20 for me. 4! A burst of brightly coloured energy streaks down axe face and knocks you back.
It's amazing we made it this far, actually.
Oh, that was
It's your turn now.
I sure did.
I'm very soulful. I would like to just meditate on it.
Okay, you meditate on it.
What do I think now?
You think
about
that
the
it's
rainbow?
clearly some kind of barrier and you need to do something to get through it.
Alright.
Alright, friend, how do we get through this? Do you need
I don't know, I got you here.
Oh.
We have reached the sum total of my, admittedly quite significant for a carrot knowledge.
It was impressive, Carrot. It was impressive.
Throw the carrot.
Are you throwing the carrot?
No,
I'm gonna throw the big skull.
he's my
You
friend.
throw the big skull. Roll a d20 for me.
I duck and cover.
8.
That's an 8. The skull explodes. And just dust and fragments of bone scatter all over the place.
Is it awesome?
It's pretty darn awesome, let's be honest. It's awesome for him.
I had dispelled the life spell on it though. That's
There is a slight cry as it impacts the rainbow.
So is the only way through to the entrance is through this rainbow? Cool.
Maybe I just need to throw wave upon wave with my fruit friends, Alex. Potato, I choose you.
What are you doing up? Roll a d20, please.
14.
14! The potato is now fries. On the other side of the rainbow.
it made it through.
You made it through. Ah, progress.
Do you want
Only
to try
because
that?
it was funnier.
If we throw ourselves at it,
You'll be fries
and
also.
you heal us when we get to the other side.
I have limited amount of spell slots.
You first.
You gave yourself spell slots?
Well, I think I have 2 OP. 2 OP.
Gurg just walks straight through the rainbow and comes back somehow holding a towel of some description and like drying himself off.
We
He's
need
like
to be
wrapped
wet
in
to
it.
get through the rainbow.
We are all.
We are.
You're already wet.
Then give it a go.
No.
Richard is getting smarter.
You're a warlock, right?
I am.
Dispel rainbow.
I don't have to spell rainbow. That's
already
not
tried
like
that.
They already tried Fade to Black.
all of my spells are either like goth or emo songs or songs I've written out. None of them are called Dispel Rainbow. Find me a metal band that has a song called Dispel Rainbow. I'll cast Dispel Rainbow.
I will talk to the rainbow. Maybe I can communicate with it. Rainbow, friend.
Doesn't talk? There has to be a metal cover of Rainbow Connection out there.
Oh. Right
There
after
has to.
That Italian dude who does all the covers has absolutely done a cover of Rainbow Connection.
Can I cast Rainbow Connection?
Sure!
To get the rainbow to
Okay.
talk to Richard.
To talk to Richard? You're connecting the rainbow to Richard?
Yes.
Roll a d20, please.
Cast Hammerfall's End of the Rainbow.
That's a 2! A streak of light comes out!
And nothing
I'll take them
happened.
both. You know I will.
Alright. This time I actually am going to use just straight up cure wounds.
Okay.
I don't
Gurg goes through again, and comes back out again, and he's got a cape on somehow.
I don't think
Maybe we have to be smaller.
I grabbed the cape.
You grab the cape. You have the cape on.
This is all I require to get through this rainbow.
Roll a d20, please.
Rainbows.
Roll one of them, please.
Here
You killed the guest. That's bad.
11.
11. You bounce off, but you don't take damage.
This cape is useless.
Can we talk to Gurk?
You can try.
How do we get through? Can you like
He's just bouncing up and down. And hanging
Morse
out.
code?
He seems to understand the words you're saying, but he himself cannot speak.
But he could tap Morse code back to us.
He doesn't know Morse code. I'm just saying that now because it's been 15 minutes.
Good. We have given you the greatest shower any haystack can have.
It
Now it's
nods.
time for you to do us a favor. We need to get through the rainbow. Could you get us through the rainbow?
So he looks at the opening to his house and he looks at you and he's like, moves his mouth in the universal symbol of, oh, what's in it for me?
We'll give you some potato friends.
Yes.
He bounces up and down. Bounce, 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 bounce.
Here is a pile of potato friends.
So you pile the pile of talking vegetables in front, and Gurg's like, He starts gesturing for you guys towards the opening.
Oh, excellent. I walk through.
Okay, you walk straight through the rainbow.
I walk through.
You walk straight through the rainbow.
I follow. Yeah.
You walk straight through the rainbow.
I walk through.
You also walk straight through the rainbow.
Yes.
Nailed it.
Genius. Geniuses.
Woo! So you are inside now. Inside, there's a cozy little bed made of grass. There's a little sign that says Home Sweet Home, and there's some stairs going down into some sort of, can you call it a basement if it's a cave? A smaller cave.
Dungeon?
Sub-cave.
We go down the stairs.
Down the stairs.
You go down the stairs, and as you go down the stairs, you see that there is another opening there. But it's a very, very thin opening. It's about this wide. I'm holding this up, it doesn't help the podcast people. It's a couple of inches wide. You see on one side, near this very thin opening, you see there's a stone bench, almost like one could lie on. And above that bench is a disproportionately huge, and how on earth did it get here? Poster, like painting, massive, flat painting.
What's it
painting?
of?
I didn't know that. It's a painting of the mountains.
I sit on the bench.
You sit on the bench, you're gonna lie down, or you're gonna sit?
Sit.
Okay, you sit on the bench, nothing happens.
I lie down.
The painting falls on you. Gabrielle is now under a painting.
I pick up the painting.
You pick up the painting. Gabrielle is now about an inch wide, but has no other ill effects.
You should go through here. And I point to the gap in the wall.
You can absolutely fit through the wall.
I go through the wall.
You go through the wall, there's an
I
opening.
don't look happy about it.
You don't look happy about it. There is an opening into a further tunnel, and there's a shelf with a potion on the shelf.
What do you
Potion
see?
is golden. Why not?
Is the potion small enough that I could take it back through?
No.
I drink the potion.
You are now normal, regular Gabriel Thelsol. Hooray! And there's still doses left in the potion, and you can see the pathway leading into what could be a deep dungeon if I had that written here as a setting.
What?
Hey, sheeple!
Is he talking to us? Is that us?
No.
Follow
What?
me blindly.
I follow him blindly.
Okay. You can't. How are you going to follow him?
I lie down on the bench.
Okay, you lay down on the bench. The painting falls down on you.
Pick up the potion.
The painting poster has been picked up. You are now.
I go through the gap.
You're through the gap.
Drink the potion.
Alright.
Drink the potion.
Next one.
Yeah.
We're gonna just assume everyone's doing that.
Yep.
Awesome.
Done.
You are now through the opening.
We did it, everybody.
You did it, everybody.
We got flattened successfully.
So, they did a puzzle in like 4 minutes, guys.
This is a big deal.
That's clearly a PB.
One moment. Richard,
Yeah.
try the potion again.
What potion?
The
The
gold
potion, the one that made you solid. It probably will make you like
Extra
more
solid.
buff.
Oh.
The potion does nothing.
Try more of the potion.
The potion tastes vaguely sweet.
Oh. Nice.
You notice that as you take a dose, the potion tops up.
Oh. Yes.
Anything
Okay.
happening yet?
No.
I'm feeling quite
I measure him.
less thirsty.
He is still the same.
Drink it again.
I told them how little time they took on the puzzle, and now they're punishing me.
I don't have time for this. I need coffee money. We should move. I need coffee money.
What is it?
I'm running low.
What is this coffee you smell?
It's mine.
Of course. I would not dare take your coffee away.
Okay.
What's
Is there
forward
another
in front of
exit?
us?
Yeah, there's the pathway down into the dungeon.
Oh.
Are we still?
Is there any other parts?
Any other way?
There's
other
back the way you
paths?
came, but there's no painting to smush
Alright, I
you.
guess we have to go that way.
Off through the dungeon.
Okay. Now the deep dungeon, you don't know this, but I'm going to say it because I wrote it down and I think it's cool. It appeared in its entirety during the cataclysm of steam. So there are mounds of dirt. The mountains you've just been in have actually been mounds of dirt that were displaced by the dungeon. The corridors are smooth. It's almost like they were organic. They grew through the stone, but they're still made of stone, and they're about 10 feet wide and nicely round. At regular intervals, there are bulbous extrusions, like little sort of mini beach balls made of amber, and they're glowing a little bit, so you guys can see.
Beach ball.
I grab my keep cup and I cast my light cantrip on it, so we have more light.
Okay, so you have more light, so it was okay before, and now it's a little bit nicer.
Can we see anything
So
else?
there's a path leading right down in front of you, and it branches off left and right.
Gave them a choice.
Can I cast a
I
perception?
have no map.
Can I roll perception?
You can roll perception.
I look very carefully at both paths.
Okay,
I get a 6.
the left. It's totally got to be the left.
Excellent. Let's go left.
Left!
We go left.
Okay. I only rolled a 6. I'm just saying.
Okay, as you
Could be bad.
As you go down, you see that you come to a room at the end of this corridor, and it is filled with facsimiles of food. It's like wooden bread, really crudely painted fruit. There's big jugs of ale, but they're actually some kind of resin that's ale coloured that's just solid in them.
Let's go right.
Yes.
This place is lame.
But there's like wooden things. Food.
So you go back. You go back, and you see a room. So going down that way, which is the right. I'm remembering now. As you're going, there's another corridor off to your left, or you can keep going down the way you were going.
And led us to more choices, I'm sorry.
Let me use my ranger senses to get us through this.
How many
Aren't you a
tasks do you
fighter?
have, dude?
Let me use my fighting senses.
What did you get?
18.
18! Okay. You're like,
My biceps are telling me.
was it Boom Boom or Bam Bam?
Hey, this is Boom Boom.
Okay. If you keep going, you will be going down further into the dungeon. If off to the left is some kind of room. You don't know if there's anything of interest in there, but it's definitely not a continuation of the dungeon.
Let's go to a room.
Okay. So in the room, there are bunks, and there are dummies in the beds, and they all have these crude faces painted on them.
I search them.
It's really weird.
Do they have any money?
No.
Okay.
They
Are they
have some
face-
sort of old, dusty clothes.
Do we recognize the faces?
You don't recognize the faces. They're just crudely drawn
Oh,
faces.
good, it's not my face.
Next time, give it Ren's face. Underline. Okay, so you keep going down.
Yes.
As you go down, there's 2 alcoves. As you continue down, on one side is a basin with beautiful, fresh spring water.
Oh,
And on the other side is a basin that's sort of steaming, so it's obviously heated by some kind of natural geothermic kind of things. There's warm water on one side, cold water on the other.
So let's mix them together.
There's also more
Yes,
porridge.
obviously.
How?
Yeah, I've got this thermos. I'll just tip this tea out and we
Okay.
can use it.
That's a great idea.
Turn it upside down.
Okay, the tea just keeps coming, just keeps coming, just
That's
keeps
a
coming.
big thermos.
There's a lot of tea, there's a lot of tea, there's a lot of tea. Okay, it's empty now. You turn it back up the right way and it instantly fills with tea.
You are
One,
honestly,
one would call it infinity.
you are,
Where's the dice bag? Where's the
I'll
dice
see
bag?
myself out. Good night, everybody.
Get a dice for that pun. There you go. A die, sorry, a die. Okay.
I'm gonna donate this to the crowd.
Oh, don't.
No.
Oh,
Let it go.
you threw a hard thing into the dark. What were you thinking?
I loved
Okay.
it. I loved it.
The corridor starts to curve, and as the corridor curves, you start to hear a skittering and scratching sound approaching.
hand over the tea. You're obviously doing it wrong.
Hand over the tea.
You hand over the tea. So the tea, you put it upside down, the tea pours out longer than the vessel you would imagine would actually contain, and then it's empty. You turn it straight up, it's instantly full of tea again.
This is some type of magic.
Did any of us notice the scarring, skittering?
Oh yeah, you can definitely hear there's something in the distance, and it's probably approaching.
You hear that axe face? Let's go.
How hot is the hot water?
It's pleasantly warm.
Oh. I don't know what to do with that information.
Yeah.
Jump in.
It might steam your makeup off.
I keep my distance.
We continue.
Okay, so you
please.
continue down the path. As you continue, you can see that there's an end of the corridor and there is a door. And carved on the door is a figure that you can't necessarily make out from this distance. But either side of the door are much wider, larger corridors going outwards from the central corridor that you are on.
So there are two more choices.
Possibly.
Right. That way.
But are you approaching to where the door
Yes.
is?
Use your ranger/fighter senses.
Ah, I will.
Okay. Right, yeah. Go nuts.
My ranger senses are tingling. 9.
9. You think that you're in a dungeon, and that the door is possibly significant, and the reason you think that is because it's the only thing that's vaguely looks built. Everything else looks kind of grown, like in this corridor here. There's the door in front of you with the figure carved on it.
I open the door.
You can't open the door. It is firmly locked.
I try again.
You try. Has he met Norb? You try again, and it continues to not be open.
I have some bad news. We cannot go this way. This door is thoroughly locked.
Let me try.
I knock on
cast push it.
What is pushing? Okay, roll a d20 for me. 16. You are lucking out of the balloon pops tonight. There is another burst of magical feedback, and you get kind of a headache, but you again don't take any damage. God damn it.
I knock on the door.
You knock on the door. I'm not going to do that thing because then we'll both do it at the same time. It gets awkward again. There is no response on the door. It is just a solid stone door set in this wall of a hallway with a figure carved on it.
What's the figure?
Roll a d20 for me. Give me a religion check.
19!
It is an ancient goddess of secrets that I totally would have named if I was more professional. Siri, the goddess of secrets. I'm writing that down. It's canon.
What is this?
So I recognize it's Siri, the goddess of secrets.
Yep.
Siri, open the door. Please.
I'm afraid I can't do that.
Siri, how do we open this door?
Would you please restate the question?
Wait. Everyone, put your fingers in your ears. Fingers in your ears.
As you are about to do this,
Yeah.
the skittering and scuttering goes longer, goes louder, and you see two things approach you from either side on the offshoot corridors.
Fingers out of your ears! Fingers out of your... Oh,
You
God,
see
I can't hear you. What are you
a
saying?
giant centipede. It looks built like a poor facsimile of something that has somehow been given life. It is 6 meters long. It has dozens of eyes. Some of them are black and pearlescent. Some of them are compound eyes. Some of them are human eyes, and they are all different size, from grapes to tennis balls. From the other side, arachnophobes, block your ears. You find approaching you a giant spider. Again, it is a creation of some abomination. It is dragging behind it a huge abdomen. It has immense pedipalps and fangs, and between the pedipalps and fangs you can see a human face with blank white eyes, and as it gets closer you see at the end of its long, hairy, segmented legs are splayed human hands. And so we find ourselves approached by danger as we come to the end of this session. Will the heroes survive? Will they defeat these really quite weapons-grade creepy creatures? Will they find the painting of the orange troll? Will I pop more balloons? Find out next time on Roll for Intelligence. Please also remember we are a podcast. Our next session will be on the web as soon as we book it in. We also have plans to do a special one-shot at Games Laboratory on the Thursday before PAX. If anybody is down in Melbourne this year, we will be plugging the crap out of that, and we will continue to do shows here. But please, can you applaud once more for Bela, Helen, Sharona, Joel, This has been the Wonderful Smiths. You've been an amazing audience. Thank you all and see you next time.
You did.
Sorry, Georgia.